Hey up YouTube. Hey up YouTube. I'm in California still. Santa Cruz. So I'm at the mountains in Santa Cruz. I'll just turn you around so you can actually see. You might not see because of the haze and the sun, but that's the sea over there. And this is Santa Cruz is actually behind me, I think. Yeah, no, Santa Cruz is down there. But yeah. Well, good morning YouTube. I'm in California on a mountain up by Santa Cruz is just down there. I'll show you in a sec. But yeah, so I'm just outside Santa, whatever it is. But yeah, so it's difficult finding camp spots when you're in near a big city or a big town. I found that out up by San Francisco. I nearly got kicked off as well by a guy, security guy. Anyway, not this time. But yeah, no, I ended up trying to just get some back roads, which I have, but there's a lot of houses there. But I found this track, and the trees in the middle, cleans underneath the Land Rover. But yeah, it's a nice spot, to be fair. It is a nice spot. I'm tempted to stay here again, but I need to move over. It's Thursday today. It took all night to download tomorrow's video because it was quite a long one actually. But yeah. So I'm going to move and go to Walmart, get a few bits of shopping, and then head over to meet Lance on Saturday morning. So I've got, so I'm going to find somewhere other, I don't know, over that way, and then a bit of a lazy date next couple of days. I'm not doing that much miles. Do some more editing, and we'll just see you later. I'm on top of a mountain again, and it's lovely sunshine. But you can see hills of mist in the bottom, like fog. Apparently, every morning it's like that, and it's been like that for the last 20 years, as somebody was telling me, for some reason. Good morning YouTube. I'm at a different place today. I'm at Railtown 1967 State Historic Park. So I'm going for a wander around here. I've met up with Lance and his wife. They're doing a thing till 12 o'clock, so let's go and have a nosy.
Built a dam in the early 1900s. They built 6 of those trucks to service it. It was a 12-year project, just building the dam, and in the 30s it was 3 more years to raise it. Okay, they built 6 of them. The only one that survived World War II. The other 5 got scrapped. That was built in 1919 in Cleveland, Ohio. It went from Cleveland to Sacramento, California, and got the body. Then it went to San Francisco and got all the running gear. It's a 1919 white 3/4-ton truck chassis. Now, Christopher bought it and he put it in his barn, and when he died, his wife gave it to us because we had a big part in the railroad. Now, these little 2 little wooden cars, they were built, we had them built, special order in 1902. To go from here to Angels Camp, we had a 700-foot climb out of the Stanislaus River. Like I said, it don't look like ones in Angels. This locomotive here is not really rare. They didn't build as many of them as they did these. This is a gear-driven locomotive. This is called a Shay. Ephraim Shay invented these type of locomotives in 1880. They were made to pull timber out of the woods. They're all power, no speed. Top speed, 15 miles an hour. They never pull passengers. They use them to pull timber out of the woods and heavy-duty rock quarry work. As you can see this side, this locomotive weighs 102 tons and it's 12-wheel drive. It can pull everything. Go up the tracks, go to the next ridge, stop, move the locomotive over. This one, too heavy. This one went to Orville, California, and a feather over. It stayed there until they built a dam and flooded the tracks. It's too heavy to move around. So when they flooded the tracks, they gave it to the state. This locomotive we bought brand new in 1925 from Baldwin Locomotive Works in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We ran this engine super hard for over 50 years. Even though we went to diesels in the 50s, when the steam quit, everybody wanted to ride steam, you know, farewell to steam, so we had big tourist railroads every weekend with this locomotive. Now in 1980 we sold it. 43 years and it not moved 1 inch since 1980. The guy never came and got it. He bought 2 of our other locomotives, took them up to Oregon. He was going to build a railroad and he never did.
Wow. So this one is off the film, but it's all stripped down. We've got to rebuild it ever so often.
Anyway, 177 boiler tubes, they put them in a captain, the passing. This locomotive was built back in New Jersey in 1891. It went to Arizona. They were going to build a railroad, the Prescott and Arizona Central Railroad, and Santa Fe come along and put them out of business. So in 1896, this locomotive came here. There's pictures here I want you guys to look at. You know, we take care of that one. All those little white marks are ultrasound. We had to do the ultrasound to make sure that the metal is thick enough to take the heat and the pressure. That one runs at 160 pounds. Original cab. This is the cab they took off. That'll go right back on there. And the thing went off on its own a couple of times and left the tracks and rolled over. So that's a 1919 cab. Since 1919 it's behaved itself. Still in use today. This part of this building was built in 1897. We still use it today. If we need something made, the blacksmith will come in and fire up this forge and make it. And there's the boiler tubes that have to go in there, 177 of them. They have to be flared, they have to be put in and flared at the firebox end. They can't weld them in because the heat from the fire cracked the weld. So they got a big job in front of them. But built in the early 1900s, we had no electricity. When they built it, we had no electricity. So what they do, they ran it with a water wheel, which was located outside that back window. They ran the water wheel, and then when the lake went down, or they had a bad water here, they had a steam engine back in the corner. They ran it with a steam engine. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week these guys work. You had to walk those planks and grease every fitting. That shaft turned for 12 hours a day. I guess they got a lunch break. But they were up there 12 hours a day. That's where the term grease monkey came from. And they were silent, boys. The lathes for the ties, they all came in rough. For the ties, over here is a wheel press. Presses the wheels onto the axle, then it weighs them to make sure both sides are equal. It is predator almost. It's really tight. I don't know well, the wood's old and dry too, but I don't know. Out here we got our turntable. It was built 1897. From 1897 to 1922, they pushed the engines around by hand. In 1922, they put air pressure to it, and now it runs off air pressure. All they got to do is pull a lever. Anyway, that's 70 tons of iron, one load. That one worked right up here, but here's the first time. You can see nobody steals much. Yeah, up here you got one more thing.
So basically, we're saying that people used to just push it around, put a train on, and then push it around. Why not? Till they put steam on. Yeah. It's big yard. Yeah, I never knew the wheels were pressed on. That was quite interesting. But it's a shame the one from Back to the Future's in bits. But it is what it is. It is what it is. A really old card. Definitely is what it is. So, what I was saying, every so many years, all the boilers got to be inspected, and they've got to take all the pipes out and redo all that, and that's the problem with the that one at the minute. Can you? Sorry. So these holes here is where the old pipes go from front to the back. So all the water's in, so it turns them to steam, but they're not welded on. They've got to be flared on, because if the weld on the crack. I don't know if you might be able to see better on that one. So much stuff. Yeah. So there's just stuff everywhere. And one of these old guys will know, oh yeah, I know where there's one of them, it's just out there. Oh, I know for a tube for that, or a bit for that. Oh yeah, it's just there. It's like my granddad used to do. He used to know where everything was. Even in the middle of a field, I still used to know where it was. But it's I'm gonna say stuff like that. I don't make them anymore. Beautiful that night. Wood. Cheating. Cozy and forgiven. The actual stacks that they use a lot of in the films are actually fake, because they burn oil. They don't burn wood. just chanting to myself. High noon. I haven't seen high noon for a long time. Moonlight, that rings a bell. Rawhide. Sierra number 3. So it always seems to be that one. Petticoat Junction. That's they use them to film with. Lassie. I used to watch Lassie. Ages. Great race. Death Valley days. Iron Horse, that rings a bell. That does ring a bell. The Man from Uncle. The Great Bank Robbery. It's a shame it's not in one piece. In there. Bonanza. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie. Oh yeah, that's that stack over there. So they've used different stacks for aesthetically pleasing for the films. Bound for Glory, I've not heard of that. Not heard of that. He's getting to stuff that he should have heard now. East of Eden. That rings a bell. The Gambler. Sometimes they turn it into a tank. Back to the Future. The Unforgiven. That's a good film. That is a good film. That is a good film. It's just, I love this sort of stuff. Just making something instead of just buying a new one. Yeah, just making something. I miss an anvil. Sat in it. I used to use one quite regularly, you see. I was making something. Heating it up, bending it. Stuff. Oh, we can got a bender. Good old voice. You don't realise how when you haven't got one, sometimes that's evil. Power hammer. Run by this electricity stuff. Right, so these are the old pipes. That's out of a boiler. So you can see how they've been flayed over, and then obviously they've cut through them and squished them down so they can get them out.
This one's all decorated for the holidays.
Do you have to dance and do all the...
I don't. I do the sound. My wife does the hot chocolate serving and the cookies. And then they have dancing waiters that come through, and they're actually professional dancers that have a tray of a prop tray.
That was pretty cool though, I must admit. You think all of the seats that people have been travelling all this time.
Yeah.
So who plays Tom Hanks then?
We have a conductor he is a real conductor, and he happens to look just like Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
That really is cool. But this is Lance, by the way.
Hello there, YouTube.
He's one of my followers. It's from a very early follower.
There's the conductor.
He does look like Tom Hanks.
Yeah. He's also a licensed state boiler inspector, so it comes in handy on a steam locomotive.
I was just saying it was the inspection because they've got to do them every so often, haven't they?
Yeah, every 15 years.
Mm.
And it's not just a kick the tires thing, it's a total tear down.
Yeah, which is it's a shame.
Yeah.
Famous old saying, stop when it goes bang.
Make a big bang.
Yeah, they do make a big bang. Oh, it's all-wheel drive is this one?
Yeah, yeah. Because there would be a drive shaft. Well, here's your steam cylinders, and then you've got the rods that turn a crankshaft on the side.
Yeah, yeah. There's one of them out at front of that building.
Yeah. Yeah, and then with the gears.
Yeah, it's a bit of.
There's a friend of mine in New Hampshire that is operating a Climax locomotive.
So this is the original one that was in the film.
Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. So the actual. I'm trying to get my head around this.
That's the front there.
Yeah. So the water is actually in between. So that the holes, the pipes go. These pipes there.
Correct.
Go between the holes, so the heat from the fire goes through the centre of the pipes.
That's correct.
and the water is on the outside that heats up the water, and that makes the steam.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so from there forward is considered the smoke box.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
there's
all
where
the
your-
smoke comes in here,
Yeah.
and then up through that.
Yeah.
But the smoke box, when you don't need them with them being oil fed, but they have them for the movie because
it still needs to be there.
yeah,
Because the steam that comes out of these cylinders helps push the heat up through the stack.
yeah.
So it's drawing the heat through the boiler itself.
So yeah, so this is the original one.
Is that the 5 and the 6 car in the shed? Yeah. Is that the 5 and the 6 car in there?
This is the Sierra Railway. So this is the tender, because I always thought they were just full of wood, but they're not. They have wood in the middle, and then
It carries
it's water.
it carries a huge amount of water. It'll use about 300 gallons of water here, just from here down and back.
Yeah. Jesus, that's quite a bit of water.
Yeah, a lot of water.
And you can see it's a bit.
But
Yeah.
what they do is they dress it up for the different movies. You know, this would be there'd be a plate on the top, and they just see all this would be water. That's all water,
Yeah.
and then they would just stack wood on top of it, and even back in the day, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do they need as much water? Well, mind you, even though it's oil, they'll still need the same amount of water.
Yeah.
Anyway, so because it's all, yeah, it is slightly rotten away, isn't it? It's a shame. Mind you saying this, some of the metal will get used for something else.
Well, it's nice to come up and see. This thing has been repainted so many times. All the different movies it's been in.
So they're not adverse for. Well, mind you, they won't rent them out for nothing, though, will they?
No.
End of the time.
No.
But if they want to paint it a different colour, they can paint it a different colour. But they'll have to repaint it back in the thing.
That's exactly it.
It's so cool.
They even put new tires on the locomotive, and these are tires here.
Yeah,
And how they do that is they have a ring in there with fire, and they put this in that goes around,
you won't think trains have tyres, would you really?
Right.
Think?
but it heats this up and it expands, and at the same time they cool the center wheel.
Yeah,
And they slip it in there, and then when everything comes to proper temperature, this shrinks back down, the
Yeah.
wheel expands.
yeah. We do that with flywheels, with the teeth on flywheels.
But when you're doing it on a cast iron 100-year-old locomotive
Yeah.
wheel, you hope something doesn't splinter and break.
Yeah. Cools. Are you looking for cracks? No cracks. Jobs are good. That's the
There's the smokestack that blew up.
in the film. Seen as it looks thingy, but
Yeah, it's been.
that's the
beaten on
stacks
it.
before it got blew up
Yep.
in the film.
And this is again a movie prop type thing. This is from the light from the movie that they put on top of it.
Oh, the Back to the Future one.
Yes.
I thought it was. I thought I recognised that number.
Yep.
Yeah, because John Wayne, it's in Unforgiven. So that's Coach 6, which is in that other
Yep.
building. Yeah, so that's the one that's actually in bits at the minute then.
Yes.
And that's actually that bit there is the bit that we've just been looking at outside.
That's correct. That's correct.
So that's before it was thingy.
And
But it's quite funny that the film don't run it on. It runs on oil, but they want it to look so it looks like it's steam.
thing over there hanging from a chain.
Yeah.
That's how they heat up the tires before they slip them over the cast wheels.
But with
When they
yeah, with ocean satellite. Well, mind you,
Yes.
or just
Yes.
yeah. Nice, but acetylene burns hot. It really does burn hot. Even health and safety of the 1800s. Wow.
Although they lost a lot.
Yeah,
They lost a lot of workers.
I bet they did.